So what are the document types we have and how to create the document types? We have covered this yesterday. And what are the flow services and how to create them? The mapping steps and JDBC connection, how to connect JDBC and how to run services to get the data, insert the data like that. And then Java services and how to invoke the other services. We have separate PPT for the web services. So we'll go through that. So once we cover the services and mapping, right? So you'll be familiar with your coding. So this connecting to JDBC will be the next stage where you and getting the data. The Java services, as I said, like the WebMethods will provide like almost 95% of the services as a built-in services. If none of them are matching to your requirement and you want to build your own, you write one small Java service. It won't be unless you are into R. Okay, so it won't take more lines and it will be very easy. I will show you the code that also. And how and built-in services. Sorry. And this is introduction to web methods. So this like maybe the ones who had the initial process or is like demo. So I will go through this PPT. So we'll go through again one more time. So what is web methods? Like we'll be having an idea of web methods. So when I started working on web methods, okay, so when my friends asked like, so they're working on Java, someone or an Oracle, and I asked like, I told them like I'm working on web methods. Every people thought that like I'm working on some web development tool, where is front-end page development and all. And then I told them it's not like web technology. It's a new middleware tool for the integration. Then they asked me like, what is this web methods and like how it's different from the others. So actually this web methods is not software. Okay, it's an integration tool to achieve business integrations, and you can do that B2B partner integrations also. And it's with WebMethods company, but now it was acquired by SoftwareAG. So WebMethods is not a software, but it's an enterprise application integration. So this is what we call it as a EAI, enterprise application integration. So this enterprise may be within a single enterprise or multiple different enterprises. Okay, so this EA main aim is, okay, so the data has to integrate from different applications without any platform. For example, so this is the best example which I can say. When I say platform independent, so this requirement came from the long actually. If you see our old programming languages, like C, on this. So first we'll come to C. So C, if you see, we'll write it in the function. Say I will start main function, and then from main I will call again one more function. Say function 1. Again function 2. And I will write the definition of the function 1. Again write the definition of function 2. Why I gave this example? So if I want to call from any other, say this is one, and I have one more file with more main. I want to call this main service from this function 1 and function 2 from main service. I won't call these functions. Again, I have to write new code, the same code. If you want to write in the main 2, because this is in a separate program and this is in a separate program. So this is the problem with our old languages like C, Okay, all this. So the functions which depend in one area, they won't be able to call the another. So to overcome this problem, what we have done is we have introduced a concept called OOPs, object-oriented program languages, where you will see the classes concept. Instead of defining them in the methods, you will define them in the class. Okay, I am writing class A. Inside my class A, I have say function 1, function 2, and this has some implementation. This also has implementation. So I will define one more class, say class B. Okay, I have function 3. But I want to call the function 1 and function 2 which are defined in class. So I will call them A dot function 1 and B dot function 2. So there we have some reusability. Whatever the functions defined in class A, I am able to use them in the class B. So what are the functions I used in class A, I am able to use in class B. So maybe you can create object for this. The static will directly call with class, and if it's a normal function, you create an object. Say class A equal to new class A. Okay, so whatever functions I say, I am able to use them here. So we have reusability, but again there is a problem here. So if I say my classes are written on Java, and the same application or the same method, I want to use it in the .NET. So Java class can understand to Java class only. So .NET class will be able to understand another .NET class only. The Java class won't be able to understand what's inside .NET. The same way .NET won't be able to understand what's inside the. So here's the one more problem arises when in the OOPs. So that's where instead of going with the object oriented, so we'll go with the messaging. So messaging. So in this message, for example, say XML. When I say XML, so XML can be able to understand Java, and .NET also will be able to understand the what's inside XML. So the function you will write here. So when you want to send to another application like this, just convert XML and send to the other application. So for example, I have some logic in Java. I want to share this logic to .NET user. So in this case, I won't share my Java code. I'll convert this code into XML and I will send to this guy, .NET. So that .NET can understand the XML and then he will be able to convert its own .NET file instead of the Java. Okay. All the middleware tools, most of them will be working on the XML based XML messages. If you see web services came into the picture with the same logic. So by using web services, you can send the data without any dependency. So whatever the platform others may be, you can send it. Examples. Okay. So we know we are using all the bank application for recharge or like buying something. For example, you have Flipkart and you have Paytm. From Paytm, I can recharge. To reach it, I have to enter my account number, username, password. Sorry, I am just talking. Is everyone able to hear me?
Yes, Venkat. Yes, Venkat, we can hear you. You can continue.
Able to understand, right? You are able to understand, right?
Yeah.
Let me know if you any questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the best example is that these recharges are like online buying websites. So there are so many online buying websites, but I have only one banking application. Okay, so the banking. So I don't know, like the SBI has implemented their entire the programming in the Java, but there are different online applications like Paytm is developed on the PHP, and Flipkart was developed on Java, and Amazon was developed in some other language. Every time SBI won't be able to develop, like for example, when Paytm guy wanted to connect to SBI, SBI able to give like whatever the language they have developed it. What this guy will do is like, so his functionality he will give it as a web service, so that web service can be accessible through any platform. So we just want, if you know how to connect a web service, that will be fine. And even this banking domain is like very secure, so you don't want to allow you to connect directly. That's why we create one interface. So in that interface, he won't say what he is doing. He will say, if you pass the number and other details, I will go again to my backend, check and give. So that web service is a middleman. It's like interface. And in other words, we call it as a API, application program interface. All these are important. So just write down like whenever I say abbreviation. Okay, so API means like application program interface. When I don't want others to connect to my system directly, one API and I'll give it to them so that they can access the interface instead of my database directly. Go to P2P. Okay, so this is about like what's EA and what will do that. And so the major categories of EA. What are the categories we'll do it in the EA? So data level integration. If you want to send data from one system to the another, maybe it's within the organization or like within two or more organizations. So if you are migrating data or if you are integrating data, it will come as a data level integration and API level integration. Just now I told you APIs, especially for the systems. So cloud systems say Salesforce or Oracle CRM or big machines, whatever the other applications which were hosted in the cloud, they won't allow you to connect to their systems because the database and all in control. They will be having your control. So in that cases, they'll give APIs. You don't need to connect to our systems directly. You get one interface, call that interface. Internally, that interface will come and calls my application. So this API integration is one more thing. And user interface level integration, which is like in the front end, you can see the data which you are entering. All this will come as user interface level. So these are the WebMethods integration tools, few of them: adapters, designer, integration server, broker, monitor, optimize for infrastructure, trading network, CD module. Out of them, the integration server is our heart of the WebMethods. Without integration server, you won't install any of them. So designer is the tool which you develop the code. Adapters to connect to the database. Broker. So now either broker or even universal messaging. If you are migrating, I mean like if you are using the integration server 9.9 version or more than that, there is no broker available. Only universal messaging. Okay. So the functional will be available, but those are internally linked to universal messaging, not the broker. We'll see high level what's a broker and what's universal messaging, how to check the data. Monitor to monitor the data of the AWS method server. The trading networks are TM to connect to the partners and how to set and all do it. And EDA module, EDA integrated to EDA. Sorry, this EDA and EDA module which I am going to cover in this class is like added. You won't be able to get these two functionalities outside. So they will say only this. This is the extra component which I am teaching in this class. So okay, so this is like yesterday we have seen So I think this one we missed. If you want to check on the contents here. So if you have the documentation, you can go to your installation directory and then documentation. So this will come only for the licensed ones, not for the trial version. Trial version if you install, like there will be only one document or something. Okay, but the product, if you have the product license, then you can install the documentations also. This we have to check in the installation time. And you want to know about the help, we can go to help, designer help, and then help contents. You can check the help there. Okay, so this open perspective I told you yesterday. So you go to window, open perspective, or you can click on that the symbol I have shown you, or you can welcome page. From that welcome page also you can come to the perspective. And then, so what is a designer? Okay, so the WebMethods integration will be done through the services. You know that we call it as a web services, and all these programs like internal we call it as a flow language. So this language we call it as a flow language. So all these are in the flow services. So this flow service is like a small set of function. Okay, so one flow service will be calling the other flow services. It's services, or it may be single flow service also. Depends on our requirement. So these services can be written on Java, C++, or VB. I showed you yesterday. Flow services are accessible as a web service also. We'll see that later how to access the service as a web service. And flow services are also for auditing. For example, you are writing some code. So if it is a C, C++, or Java, you write C, C out, C in, C out, so that you know like something is happening. And in Java, we write system.out.println. The same way you can write here also to log the some information. Okay, designer how to connect to the integration server. So so this is one way. Go to window, and then preferences. If you go to SoftwareAG integration servers, and then if you enter the name, by default one comes as a default server, and if you want to add more, then you will add. Okay, so after clicking the add, it will open up. I have shown you this. What is the other way we have seen? You can go up here and you can click on this button, add or modify. We'll go to same SoftwareAG application servers, and then if you click on add, it will open the same window. Okay, so see packages. So yesterday I created one package. Actually, what is a package? Okay, so this package is nothing but it's just a storage of your services. The logical containers are like where you want to store your services and all will be mentioning in the package. The package will hold all of your services or other things what it required to run your service. So your package can be archived so that it will be used later, and then restore whatever is archived. You can restore it. You can disable the package when you don't want, and you can enable it when you want it. Okay, so you take a backup. Archive is nothing but a backup. Restore. So whatever the backup you do, for example, restore means like I am into 10.10 version. I want to go back to 9.9. So I can do that. Restore. You can restore the package. If you don't want to see the code in the package, you can disable it and you can enable it. And these are the tasks. I will show you how to do that. So this package should contain all the information it required to run your service. Okay. So if it is any dependency on the jar files, you should be having them. A package exists for the physical directory on the file system. I showed you where it will actually locate after installing WebMethods. Okay. If you go to your C, so if you are installing as a SoftwareAG integration server, instances, default, packages. So this packages directory will be holding all your packages. For example, let's say I created one package called the WebMethods class. Okay, so this actually the package which I created in the designer. Okay, the package I created here, but actually stored here. Okay, designer is just a tool. This is just a tool. It actually requires the data from the integration server. If I'm not connecting to integration server, if I put it as offline or if I disconnect from the server, okay, we have to see actually all the packages coming from here. Okay, so they are located actually at this. So WebMethods home, integration server, instances, default, and packages, correct? These instances, default, and packages, correct? Okay. I already mentioned here. Okay, so if it is after 9.9.5 version, you can see it here. Here to that, you can see directly in the packages. Okay, so how the package should look? I told you create a same name. So if you are creating a package with time version 6, the first folder should be with the same name. So once you create the package, immediately create the folder without starting services or something else. Creating a package, create a folder with the same name. Your first step, and then you can do what you want. I will tell you how to do this. Okay, so there is a term called the namespace in WebMethods. Namespace. So namespace is nothing but so you'll be writing your own code in integration server. You are not the one who will be writing the code. There will be so many people writing your integration server. So you are one of the users who is accessing the integration server. In that case, when you are running your service, the backend system, backend integration server should know how to call the particular service. So namespace is the identifier of your service. Okay, the namespace is how you will identify the service in the integration server. Okay, so these namespaces are organized by the namespace and are similar to a directory structure. How I told you, showed you the packages where it locates. Install. 1 second, guys. There's a noise outside. Close my windows. Okay, so earlier we have seen the packages folder. How do I identify packages folder? I went inside my SoftwareAG folder, and then integration server, and then instances, and then packages. So I know packages is located inside SoftwareAG, and then instance server, and inside instances, and then packages. The same way. So if you write one service, okay, say like I'm writing the demo service. This service actually stores. That's what this namespace means. So the name always starts with your server name. If it is a local host or like a server name, your server name, HTTP, your server name, port, with the invoke keyword. Okay, this is important. Okay, invoke. Okay, invoke is a part of your namespace. Invoke means you are invoking the service in this integration server. Is this clear? Because this is an important question. So they will ask what is a namespace. A namespace is the one how do you identify your service in the integration server. By using this namespace only, you will identify the service, and namespace should be unique. There should not be duplicate namespaces. Is this clear? And package name is not part of the namespace. I will show you example. For example, say, so we created this WebMethods class, and then one folder called the WebMethods, and created the service. What is the namespace for this test service is the package won't come under this. So before that, WebMethods and then test. So WebMethods class dot test is the namespace for this. For student, WebMethods class dot test. For example, if I go to test, and then Java, and then test Java. If you want to tell the namespace for this, it will come on topmost folder for this. This is the test. So test dot Java dot test Java. Package won't come under this namespace. Clear? Only top folder. It will start with the topmost folder, test, and then inner folder Java, and then the service. Test dot Java dot test Java. Is this clear?
Yes, Venkat is clear.
Or like ping me or like ask me if you don't understand. Okay, so if they ask like what is a namespace, namespace is nothing but how do you identify this particular service. So package won't come under part of the namespace. Namespace always starts the main folder for the service and then comes like this. For example, so here I have test Java, test Java. I created WebMethods class, right? I'll create one more folder called the test. And in the test folder, I will create a Java. See, I am doing a mistake. I told you, do not create any package, any folder inside this. The first folder should be this. Once you create this folder, I have to create everything else. But what I am doing, it's a wrong thing. I will show you why we should not do like this. Okay, so I created one folder called test and then Java. Methods allow to do that, but you should not do that. It's standard. So I will try to create a normal flow service. Here I have a test Java as a Java service, but I will create a same. But they both are in the different package, right? This is in the package. This is in the methods class package. See what happens. What is saying? The name test Java exists. Try another name. If you see in this particular package, I don't have anything called the test Java. But if you see the entire thing, test.java, inside that test Java, I have one here, test Java, test Java. So it won't allow me to do, but I want to do this. So instead of that, what I can do, so do not get any folders, go inside this. If I create like this, it won't throw me any error. Okay, so it's not allowing us. There is one more. One second, guys. Okay, so it's like there is some issue. It does not exist. Right, I'm creating a new. So something. Okay, so we'll check this. So I will create one folder called the test. Folder Java. So it won't allow me. So if you see this test Java service, I am writing inside the test package, and this is in the test, but still it's not allowing me because path is same. If you see this test Java, it will be inside test Java and then Java. If you see here also, it will be test.java.test Java. So the path is already existing. It won't allow me to create a new one. Instead of that, if I did not create anything as a main folder, okay, if I create main folder, same name as package. One second, let me check what's inside. Okay, so if I create the same package name, this one, if I try it inside it, so my main folder starts with test pack. If I create test Java inside test pack, my path will become as testpack.test.test Java. So which will be different than test.java.test Java. Is this confused? Maybe it will be clear once we go to the next slide. Okay, so the service collide, what we have seen till now. So if you see, there is a package 1 and package 2. So inside package 1, I created 1 and then service 1. So this is one package. And in my package 2, I created folder 2, folder 1 again. And then I want to write C service on Java service with the service 2 and service 1. But it won't allow me to create service 1 because folder 1.service1 already exists in package 1. Even though it's a separate package, but our namespace starts always from the main folder. My main folder is folder 1. Folder 1.service1, it won't go in the package 2. So the integration server will say folder 1.service1 already exists, but you did not create it, but someone else created with the same name. So in order to avoid this, so you have to write it says with the after package creation, you have to create one more folder with the package 1. In that case, it will come as package 1 dot service 1. If you create main folder as package 2 here, package 2 dot folder 1 dot service 1, which is a different. So create the same main folder, the first folder of the package. Okay, so you get the service collide. If you create the first folder as the same name as the package, you won't get the service collide. Is this clear? Aruna and Vivek? Hello? You can message me also.
This clear for me.
Okay. 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 Okay, so the package creation should be like this. You have to create a main package, and then immediately the main folder should be with the same name as package, and then you start creating your own packages. I mean, one folder services in whatever way you want. But the first step should be this. Okay, so the doc types we have seen yesterday. Did you try creating the XML and JSON? How many of you tried? Hello?
Yeah, I tried XML actually.
Oh, XML you tried?
Yeah, I tried XML.
It created the document?
It created document that gives some method or what it's
Okay, maybe it's a problem with the XML tag starting.
Okay. He's asking for a version actually.
No. Okay, so it always has to be result has to be created and created. With the JSON also.
Okay.
Like recent days, if you see all the web services, no, not web services, RESTful services are like very much important to know about the JSON. How to create your document to JSON, from JSON to document. Okay. In web services, you should know the XML. So web services and RESTful services, these two are important. All the clouds now providing the RESTful services. I will tell you that also once we complete all this. Okay. Let's see flow service. Okay, so flow service, it's like a method which if you pass the input, it will get you the output. Yesterday, did you try to call any services, the built-in services I showed, pub.map, pub.string? Does anyone tried?
Yeah, I tried with map service just yes.
Okay, map. Map. Which
Map.
service?
Just add function, just add.
So if you see all the services, hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Other guys also hearing that echo? There is an echo coming out. So you guys can mute it so that it will be good. Okay. So I don't have an option to mute from here. That's why I'm asking you to mute it. Okay. So if you see that add in service, so or like yesterday we have seen that lookup table, right? So you will be having input. If you pass the input, it will perform operation inside it, and it will gives you the output back. Okay. We don't know what's inside the code, correct? That's a black box for us. And the same way, if you see that add-ins, you'll pass input 1 and input 2, you'll get the result as output. But you don't know actually how the operation is performing inside. So service is a unit. If you pass the input, it gives you the output. The same way, whenever you create a service, you have to give the input and it will provide you the output. Now we'll see how to create a service. All the important things you have to remember when you're creating a service. Here is our web methods course. So if you have to create a service, then, so for example, once I create this package, come here, new, and then flow service, and then give your my first service, next, and if you have any, you can set it up for the empty flow, finish it. And there is a problem with this package. I will restore the package later. We'll see somewhere else. Okay, right click, new, flow service, give the flow service. It's a first service. Finish. Once you finish, it will create empty. The first thing, once you create the service, you have to write a comment. Why are you creating this service? So you can say created by. No one follows it, but it's a standard. Okay. What is the purpose of creating it? Okay, and then if there are any updates. Okay, later if there is an update, so they will write their name again when they updated and what is the version for it. So once you complete the update, then you have to come to input and output. So when you are creating a service, okay, you should be knowing what inputs you have to pass and what output you will get it. Okay, for example, I am adding two numbers. Inputs I need. We add two numbers. How many inputs I need?
Input variable and one output variable.
and you get the result as output. So when we have two input and one output, you have to declare like this. If it is a string, yeah, just drag and drop B. You get the output as C. It's clear. So this is the input and output. You have to declare what's input you have passed and what output you will get it. Okay, and then tree is the place where you will start your actual coding. Okay, to start the coding, you should be knowing about all these steps. You will see these flow steps: map, branch, loop, repeat, sequence, exit. Okay, so how to use all of these, you will see it in the next class. Okay, so input and output, then and for your task you can do, for example, you want to call the flow service. For example, in this public, you want to add two numbers, right? As WM public. Just drag and drop it to your thing, and you will see pipeline. You have to pass number one. Number one you will be passing from A to number one. You can select both of them and link, or you can make a link also like this. You can link. You select both, and then you can go for this, or just click on that and drag and drop to your output. Okay, Control S, and if you run this, PS4, I have to drop all this in the next session. Any doubts as of now? Can we close the class? So you do some like this, you did for addings, right? So you do all mathematical operations, adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, and then try to get the results. Okay, practice this. If you don't practice, then later. I'm exiting the meeting.
Okay. Okay,
Okay, thank you guys. Bye.